Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video, all in crypto here. And today we're going to be diving into Quant Network and Quant. And I'm going to start this video off with a confession. The more I look into Quant Network and what they're doing, the more I realize how underweight I am in regards to the Quant token. This is a blockchain that gives me the similar vibes that I had when I was investing in Chainlink back at the sort of cents mark back in 2018-19. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll explain that a little bit. Before we get into this video, we're going to be hearing from Gilbert Verdrium, the CEO, actually talking about how he envisions Quant impacting Wall Street, essentially facilitating it in regards to the world that we're moving towards, which is a digitalized world where everything's tokenized. But let's start with, and we've got a number of other things to look at, but let's start with what I mean by it feels like I have the same feeling I got when I invested in Chainlink back in 2018-19, investing in Quant today. And why is that? Well, Chainlink was something that I saw the vision of in regards to it being an enabler for the entire crypto space. Quant Network is exactly that, on a huge scale. And Chainlink, okay, now we know CCIP. We looked at them both, and I know that was a very polarizing video. We own both of them, guys. We think they're both great projects, and they're both going to do exceptionally well. It wasn't that, and I didn't even really give my thoughts on which one's better than the other. I did say I owned more one than the other, and maybe from the intro you can tell which. But Chainlink was very much, obviously now with CCIP different, but back then was an enabler of crypto and DeFi. Quant is an enabler, and Chainlink similarly now, is an enabler of the real world into the crypto space. So Chainlink enabled real world price feeds into crypto. Quant is enabling real world applications into crypto across the board. It's essentially, and people still don't get this, you've got crypto and all the blockchains within it, and the DAGs and everything are also incorporated in that. And then you've got Quant that sits on top. And it essentially will be like an operating system. Like if you imagine an airport, for example, you've got your planes coming in, you've got your planes coming out. Someone has to sit in a big tower and direct all those planes. And that is Quant in relation to the crypto space. So that was rather a long introduction. I'm going to start this video off with a clip that I actually played. I think it was in relation to my XRP video the other day of a conference, the Global RegTech Summit. You've got the FinTech Global bunch that were essentially organizing this. And this is someone from Citi Group, one of the largest institutions in the world, in 2023, admitting what institutions are going to do in regards to blockchain. Let's go ahead and play this clip, and then we're going to listen to a clip from Gilbert Verdrium.
For people with your skill set to help us large organizations, there's, build your own companies as well, of course, but you can really help us to get the infrastructure in place to enable, blockchain-based technologies to really grow at the scale that we haven't seen before. It's what I say to my crypto native friends is that, it's kind of like the empire striking back a little bit. The big organizations are going to use the technology at a scale that we have not seen before for this level of technology. You're going to be the enabler for people with your skill.
So that's it going to play again. Very interesting. This is the world we're moving towards. And guys, I got into Bitcoin at a very early age for a number of reasons. One of them was because I believed in the ideologies behind it. I'm a big fan of Austrian economics. I'm a big fan of people like Ludwig von Mises, people like Friedrich Hayek, people like Milton Friedman. I don't think that Nirvana's for this world. I don't think that a utopia. Heaven is not for this world. And I think that there's not really any one system out there that is 100% perfect. Okay? There's always going to be compromises. There's always going to be winners and losers. But I happen to like a lot of those kind of ideas. And Bitcoin's something that really resonated with me. And this kind of sovereignty of money and money outside of the controls of government. And I also would extend that to, monopoly financial institutions. And I'm 100% on board with the vision of Bitcoin. I'm 100% on board with the vision of Ethereum and Cardano and all these other great layer one smart contract protocols that are building their almost own utopias. And I think they're going to do extremely well. And I think there's a real need for them. But I also happen to believe that, as with all technological revolutions, usually it starts off and then there's this mad rush from these financial institutions, governments, and everything in between to actually implement the technology. And the projects like Quant Network, like XRP, like XLM, like XDC, like HBAR, that are actually already working to do this and facilitate it, are likely going to do well off the back end of it. And I am sure as hell going to be profiting off of it. And again, back to the statement that I made at the start of the video, the more and more I research Quant, the more and more I realize just how perhaps underweight I am of it. Let's listen to Gilbert Verdrian talk a little bit about Quant and how he sees it interacting with Wall Street and being the enabler of.
So what could that mean, Gil, for the Quant Network in terms of value, in terms of expansion, in terms of just business, given that you have this pluggability now with a trading platform that's already got the door open to a vast network itself? What does it mean to have that first mover advantage?
Yeah, it's kind of like we're the infrastructure to enable this to happen, and so we're our code and our technology will be running kind of, if you think about it, Wall Street. It'll be running how institutions trade. It'll be running how people do settlements and stuff across networks, and how you can move a JP Morgan coin with a Wells Fargo coin. I mean, we can make that happen.
Do you think Wall Street are even aware of just how big not only the Quant Network, but just this technology is going to be and how relevant it's going to be in the future?
Yes, they have recognized, and I think it's only been in the last 6 months, 9 months, they have recognized the potential. They've been looking at it for the last couple of years, thinking, what is this? Is this good for us? Should we look at it? Now that they see the potential, and they're all in. I mean, it's reshaping how Wall Street operates, because it's not a technology benefit only. It's actually a business benefit. So you get access to more investors, more institutions, more assets, more markets,
right?
And so for them, it's a no-brainer.
I do apologize for the lagginess there, guys. I don't know why that has happened. Very unusual. I did play this sort of the setup of this video through previously. Again, this is from Quant themselves. Banking giants such as JP Morgan and Citi want to supercharge Wall Street by tokenizing assets on a blockchain. This technology has the capability of revolutionizing financial market infrastructure, says Umar Farkour of JP Morgan. This is the way the entire world is going, and there are hundreds of trillions, in the quadrillions of assets out there that are waiting to be tokenized. And Quant is actually, I believe, not only well positioned, but going to, very likely, be the facilitator of a lot of that. And what's the value of that? And people say, okay, well, why does it have a token? Well, if you want to use Quant's overledger system, you need to pay those fees in Quant. There's Quant lockups. There's a whole list of, and maybe we should do an entire breakdown of that, things that actually happen in regards to using the Quant network. These were some, I believe, Telegram messages from Gilbert. We had that discussion with a very large US financial service company last week. I think it's time to realize and acknowledge that traditional FS companies, financial service companies, are very active in this space now. They bring regulations, governance, and mass market capabilities with lots of institutional and retail clients. The news in the last couple of weeks with JP Morgan, Fidelity, Digital Assets 6, Deutsche Bank, Bosch is pivotal moment where digital assets are accepted and embraced. It's only going to get bigger. This is our approach. We're bringing everyone together and interconnecting a traditional financial infrastructure with new decentralized financial infrastructure for the first time. Imagine the possibilities of thousands of financial service clients and institutions using decentralized blockchain safely and easily through Overledger. The use cases are huge. By coming from The regulators, we love what is happening in regulations. It's something the market needs to help clean up the dishonest and bad actors. Now we're seeing the institutions stepping in and innovating at scale. We've all been hearing what the likes of Fidelity, SIX, NASDAQ, etc. are making public. That's just the start. There is much more activity and progress that we all don't know about, which will be revealed this year. We're working on being the financial infrastructure to move digital assets between networks. There's a lot of activity in the space by banks. We're making QNT the way to sign, encrypt, and secure digital assets to move them between banks, making it a universal utility token. Can you imagine QNT moving JP Morgan coin to another bank? Or Facebook's Libra coin? All of these need interoperability to transfer between parties. We're making that reality. So I actually got this from Twitter. This has been posted from a big quant account. I can't quite remember the name. But it's very interesting. And actually, we've heard Gilbert talk about this at detail previously. Again, going back to my comment at the start of the video, I think that Quant is going to be absolutely huge, guys. And at a $1 billion market cap, you can only imagine. We're not going to throw out one of those $20,000 price predictions or anything like that, because I don't know is the truth. I made a lot of price predictions going into the previous bull market. A lot of them got hit. A lot of them got smashed. We provided loads of 100x altcoins, literally loads. If you scroll back to the start of my channel, and the only ones that we really get remembered for are the ones that quite didn't make it. Like, for example, Cardano, we said was going to get to $5 to $7. It got to $3 something, and everyone was really peeved off about that, even though we called it out at cents. And there was a couple of others. I think Ethereum to 5K, it got to 4. People peeved off. Anyway, so on and so forth. On that note, guys, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed the content, smash that like button. A comment is always appreciated, and subscribe for more content. On that note, see you in the next one.